Deborah Turbeville was born in Boston in 1932, and she moved to New York at 18, and she became involved in the fashion world. She was employed by Claire Ricardo, the fashion designer, as a fit model and an assistant, so she began to engage with fashion photography and the fashion houses and kind of clothing in a way at that stage. She was introduced to the very influential fashion editor, Diana Vreeland, in that post, and Diana Vreeland encouraged her to become involved in fashion editing, and she became a fashion editor. She worked for Mademoiselle magazine, she worked for Harper's Bazaar. She took some early photographs in 1966 in Dubrovnik, and probably her first big break was when Alexander Lieberman in 1975 commissioned her to do a number of shoots for US Vogue.
She was able to make a living through the commissions she received from magazines, also from brands like Comme des Garçons. Her work is, I would say, anti-fashion. Everything is kind of blurry, out of focus. It's black and white. Most of the work, it's mostly black and white. It's kind of old. It seems always in abandoned places. Her female figures are always kind of sad or isolated. But she worked mostly like, I would say, a cinematographer or a director. She's very different from most of the fashion photographers working at the same time. And we have to remember that when she worked, fashion photography was all about color. You know, the printed page was this glossy paper. So at that time, it was also a contrast, having her work with pins and kind of destroyed images.
Deborah Turbeville Photocollage is, in one way, it's very much, I think, about her universe building, how she uses a myriad of creative practices to create a universe in her own vision. And she's done that obviously through straight photography and working with the camera and the models, but then there is this extra layer where she's sitting down in a more, traditional kind of artistic studio way, working at a big table with pins and tape and distressing prints, interfering with prints.
So when I worked in the archive, because the full archive is conserved at MUUS collection in the US, it was amazing to be able to just open boxes randomly, first of all. And I wanted the exhibition to get into this intimate world of Deborah Turbeville. I have to say this is not personal work she made apart. This is really something that she created over 40 years, because right from the 70s, she has her own signature style.
Turbeville was absolutely not a print fetishist. She was not in any way about the pristine print. There are prints in the room that are Polaroids. There are prints in the room that are almost photocopies, electrostatic prints. She was not about a defined edge to anything. So the materiality of what's in the images, but also the materiality of the frames themselves. And Nathalie made some great choices when she was producing the work, in the sense that even the works that were framed for the show are framed in a variety of different framing styles. So that idea of the collage is there in the mixing and matching of framings, but also the way that things are hung on the wall with purposeful gaps. And, it's each wall hopefully then becomes a collage in itself.
And her work is a kind of, out of time. This is something that I wanted to create in the exhibition, that she was certainly surrounded with images that could be done, 100 years ago. This is something that she really wanted to create, and I hope that as a visitor, when you enter into this realm, you are, suddenly in a kind of old world, but you don't exactly know when it was. And this timelessness is very important to Deborah Turbeville.